The BMW 840i Grand Coupe. This thing is brilliant. And in this video, we're gonna be talking about everything from how much you need to earn to own one of these, to what the engine's like, and test driving it on some of Ireland's and potentially the world's finest roads. But first, we need to figure out what kind of person is buying an 840i Grand Coupe. To start with, you're gonna need a lot of money, which makes me think that you're probably some sort of business person who does a good bit of driving. And let's call a spade a spade. Most of that driving is gonna be in and around town, parking in tight spots, or out on the motorway on the day-to-day commute. It's real world stuff. And for that, the 840i Grand Coupe is superb. It is just fantastic. It's got adaptive cruise control, lane assist, which will keep you in your lane. And then when it comes to tight parking, the camera setup is phenomenal. The only criticism I really have is this is the old screen. In newer cars like the iX or the i7, we're seeing that full screen, which it is just a little bit nicer. But still, this is a brilliant car to live with. It's even quite economical. But every once in a while, you're gonna get the opportunity to take it on a road trip. And that's why we've come here to Connemara, to some of the most beautiful and enjoyable roads to drive on in the entire world. So let's put it in sport. We can't turn the DSC off because I have signed a contract to make sure I don't. But now this is where it comes alive, because that sport button increases the throttle sensitivity. It sharpens up the suspension. It makes the gear changes a little bit more aggressive. And if I pop down now, you also get that beautiful note of that 3-litre twin turbocharged petrol engine. It's the B58. We'll talk a little bit more about that specifically later on, because I think it's one of the best engines of all time for an all-rounder anyway. But as you put your foot down, 333 horsepower straight to the rear wheels, and that is a combination that we would have seen in some old BMW M cars. It's got a really good differential, so this engine is also shared with the old M140i's, and they didn't come with a diff, and actually it made them very, very difficult and almost dangerous to drive. This though, it's very well suited. The suspension is excellent, the brakes are even good, and the gear changes are so quick. It is incredible. I think all that's left to do is to put on my verified BMW sunglasses and enjoy some of these incredible roads. I'm just going to take 30 seconds here to nerd out on this B58 engine. So if we rewind back to when the M135i came out, it had the N55 engine, which was brilliant. It sounded phenomenal, but it wasn't necessarily as economical or as reliable as it could have been. So then the B58 came, and this thing has been in so many cars. And I personally think, even though BMW have done some much more impressive V8 and even V10 engines, this is just the perfect combination of having lots of power but also being really economical. And because it's quite a large displacement of 3 litres, it's also really, really reliable. So let's talk about prices. Now, actually, starting prices for an 840i Grand Coupe is just 70,000 euros. And even spec like this, amazingly, you're only at about 82 grand, which is incredible value. However, then the Irish government gets involved, and that adds VAT, which is 19,000 euros. And then there's VRT, vehicle registration tax. And you might want to take a seat for this one, because it is a whopping 61,000 euros, which takes this car to a total price of 163 grand. And that's a car that BMW themselves are only actually charging about 82,000 euros for. And that brings me to the question, how much do you, the individual, need to be earning to buy one of these? Well, chances are if you're looking at buying one of these, you're in the high rate of income tax. So you're going to need about double of what this costs. So this is about 160k. You're going to need to earn about 320 grand to have that disposable cash there for the car. And that means that the government is already going to have about 160,000 of your finest euros paid in income tax before you even consider buying one of these. And then they're going to get that additional 19,000 VAT, the 61,000 euro VRT, which means when you buy one of these, the government is getting a grand total of about 240,000 euros, which is just bonkers. So the reason I'm even bringing this up in the middle of a review is because BMW do a great job of supplying us with these numbers. And often I see people on TikTok, YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, wherever it might be, saying the cars are just gone crazy money. But the reality is they're not. It's the taxation. Now, when all that's said and done, if you do have 160,000 euros to spend on a car and you're not looking to be a sheep and follow the herd and get a SUV of some sort, then definitely the 840i is one to consider. It is potentially one of the most gorgeous looking cars on the market. It's also got some comfortable back seats, a generously sized boot, the seats fold down, you can fit longer items in it. It is actually quite a practical car, and it's gorgeous, and it just ticks pretty much every box. Now, if you've enjoyed this review, then thank you so much for watching. And please make sure you subscribe and hit the like button, and even give us some feedback on what cars you'd like to see in the near future. But as we make our way through a lovely seaside village here on the west coast of Ireland, we're going to go enjoy some more roads. So we'll see you in the next review.